one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You've got to make me change my mind. Baby, I got your number, and I know that you got mine. You know that I called you. I've called too many times. You can call me, baby. You can call me anytime. You got to call me. Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Oh, give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You got to make me change my mind. I don't want no one to squeeze me. No, they might take away my life. I don't want no one to squeeze me. They might take away my life. I just want someone to hold me, Lord, and rock me through the night. Oh, give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Oh, give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You got to make me change my mind. Baby, just give me one reason. Oh, give me just one reason why. Baby, just give me one reason. Oh, give me just one reason why I should stay. Said I told you that I loved you, and there ain't no more to say.
The genesis of us coming here actually started a few years ago. I met Bernie Marsden at a PRS guitar event with my brother-in-law, who was very special to me and unfortunately passed away. But I became friends with Bernie, and through my travels back and forth to the UK, we actually got together. I wound up bringing a few guitars over here for him. He came and visited us, and at the time we lived in Maryland. He actually came out to the house and played a little bit, and we just struck up a friendship. And through him I met Rob when Bernie was doing his album, and I just became fast friends with Rob. I just think the world of him as a person. His talent is undisputed. I mean, his resume reads like who's who of rock and roll, and so we struck up a friendship. And about a year and a half, maybe close to 2 years ago, he asked me, he said, well, would you like to come to Abbey Road and record? And I wish I could say it was on my bucket list, but it was so far removed from any list of anything that I could have dreamt of that it never even made it on a bucket list. I've been an amateur musician, always wanted to be a professional musician, but ran out of time and talent along the way. But it's always been a dream. So when he offered that, it took about a second to say, yes, I really would like to come to Abbey Road. And that set things in motion. And then I really had a good time with this because I kind of knew immediately who I would want to have with me here. And the group of guys that you have met and filmed and talked to today are just some of the most special people. Again, similar to Rob, they're not just incredibly talented, but they have a depth of character and friendship that is second to none, all of them. And so I immediately came up with a plan and basically got together with each one of them, because we don't live exactly close together. We've never really played together, although I've played individually with them, sat in a couple of times, and actually Carl was my guitar teacher, and John is my drums teacher. So it was just through getting together with them as friends, and I thought I'd have fun with it. So I said, look, nobody's breaking my door down to invite me to record on their albums, half kiddingly. And I said, so I'm going to do my own. And, I'd like you, if you wouldn't mind, would you play on my album? And they were like, oh yeah. And they each had kind of a different reaction to that, but every one of them had a tremendously positive reaction. They're like, oh, absolutely. Where do you want to record? When do you want to do it? Hey, I know a studio. Here's who we can get. They were just extremely enthusiastic about it. And I said, well, the only problem is I've already picked a studio. And unfortunately, it's in London. And they all had the same kind of puzzled look on their face. And knowing that each of them were tremendous Beatles fans, I guess who isn't, I knew that the next line out of my mouth was going to get a reaction, and so I was very anxious to see that. And I said, yeah, I've got Abbey Road. And to a man, each one of them just was like, what? So it's been a tremendous thing for me, not only to fulfill a dream vacation, but to have these special people here, and for them to share with me, and for me to be able to share with them, again through Rob's generosity, this once in a lifetime thing.
All right. So it'll be a 4-bar drum intro, and then just kind of,
Yep.
one,
But your own.
2, 3.
But everybody made extraordinary efforts to be here, and I'm very happy they are.
Funky, freaky. wondering the universe, my existence. Voices, choices, hit me like a freight train. Too much controversy, and I'm rolling. I just wanna drive. Blissful, then wishful, wondering what went wrong. She told me to get over it. Go write a sad love song. You blew it, not you it. Like joking on a rerun sitcom. Chase the tragic laughter, and I'm rolling. I just need to take it right, free my mind up for a while. Baby, gaze up at the moon. Listen to my favorite tune. I just wanna drive. I just wanna drive. Beat of my soul. Ain't nobody perfect, babe. That's the one thing I know. You're dead, learning. I can't cast the first stone. Forgiven, still living, and I'm rolling. I just need to take it right, free my mind up for a while. Baby, gaze up at the moon. Listen to my favorite tune. I just wanna drive. I want to lose myself. It consoles me. It don't control me. I want nothing to feel. So I'm taking the wheel, and I'm rolling. I just need to take it right, free my mind up for a while. Maybe gaze up at the moon. Listen to my favorite tune. I just need to take it right, free my mind up for a while. Maybe gaze up at the moon. Listen to my favorite tune. I just wanna drive.
The song choices were done mostly to create a feeling of inclusiveness. Two drummers, two guitars, three guitars with Bernie, bass guitar, vocals. It's not that easy necessarily to pick songs unless you're doing Allman Brothers or Doobie Brothers stuff where there were two drummers kind of involved. But it was very important, and even John he was like, well, you don't need me there, you know. And I'm like, no, that's because that's not the whole point of this. That's one of the points. Yes, I would like it to be something we're all proud of, and by the looks of it, and with Matt and with Paul's help, I think it will be, and Rob's production know-how. So I'm not even worried about that anymore. But I wanted to make sure everybody was included.
We'll get a tempo and then come up and have a listen. There's a few things I'd like you guys to hear before we carry on throughout the day. But yeah, let's get a first take under the belt.
listening back there without it, that wasn't a problem for me.
felt good.
That was fine.
Really
You know,
good.
I mean, the whole idea of that is just to keep it in the general ballpark. If you drift a little bit, it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
You know, it's just keeping it
How
so
are
you
you
don't
on
I think it's good
offense?
to. I mean,
You're the only
I'm
one I'm
good
in
with
charge
starting
of, so.
it.
Yeah, and then you know,
Great,
do
cool.
what you can. I mean, that wasn't. I didn't feel there was anything. It was in acceptable parameters.
Drums,
You know.
More drums, yeah,
Just
certainly.
literally just
And that's-
breathe on it.
I mean, even just record the intro and then cut it into because that was a really good take.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Let's just do that, and so that it just feels right. So if
Yeah.
everyone plays, and then
Okay.
you know what I mean, and then we just do that in the intro for a couple of bars in, and then we can stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to see how it sounds.
Give me one reason to stay here, and I'll turn right back around. Give me one reason to stay.
The only thing that I would say is, and if this gets back to Tom, is how indebted I am to him for bringing us over here, because it was just a monumental, wonderful gesture to be able to experience something like this. And I wouldn't have been able to do it if it weren't for him. So very grateful to Tom, and it's just a major blessing. I mean, if you're a musician, a lot of the guys that I play with in my hometown, you know, and one guy in particular who was a Beatles fanatic. And when I told him what I was doing, I mean, it's just hard to really fathom, you know. He just can't believe it. You know, this is the Mecca, the Holy Grail of popular music. So, thank you, Tom. That's all I want to say about that.
to rock and roll. It's been a long time since I did the stroll. Oh, let me get it back, let me get it back, let me get it back. Baby, where I come from. Oh, 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 yeah. Been a long time, been a long time, been a long, lonely, 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 lonely time. Oh, oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah.
When Tom first talked to me about doing it, I first thought he was completely out of his brain. And then he kept on talking about it, and then I started to get more excited about it. And then, we would talk a lot about, what we would do if we did it. And it originally started out as was going to be his retirement party. But since it's not really retirement party, but he just kept on going for it. So I got more excited about it. From my perspective, I guess the biggest thing would be that I was a little intimidated with the people that I would be playing with. But again, we go back to rule number one, that nobody else cares. But something that's been an ongoing joke about aging well, so I was a little apprehensive about it, but we put together a couple of practice sessions. That's all we had was 2. So that helped to kind of relax me more, and playing with with Carl, Eric, and those guys really makes it so much easier because they're such pros. So that's kind of where the whole thing goes in my brain, and just flying over here, the whole thing about being in Abbey Road Studios with friends, where everybody gets along, no egos, and putting together this project, and the fact that it came out way better than I thought it was going to. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing to me.
It's loud, yeah. Beginning, you want us to go hotter?
No.
It wasn't as good as the second half, right?
Okay, great then. Yeah, we'll just do another one.
That's what you're saying, right?
Do
The
it all,
beginning,
do it all
Yeah.
the same.
the beginning was kind of didn't
same
have the same
fervor.
energy.
Yeah.
It's the same fervor. Let's get down and do another one while you're
with
buzzing.
purpose. Play it like you mean it.
Should we do it with a click, or is it okay like it is?
I thought it was okay.
I think it's good.
What did you feel?
What about the intro? Should we just lose that drum intro and just go right into the song?
No, I like the drum intro.
Oh yeah.
I have a
chair too, right next to me. So
Yeah, but I can see everybody from the place.
Good.
I heard you sing it. You didn't add
Yeah,
those harmonies in
maybe
there?
I'll do the harmonies. Yeah. Good.
That was good.
Rob, I'd
Yeah.
love to have you
I'll
on.
do them with you.
Why don't you go, Carl?
Well, what inspired me was obviously the Beatles. And it's almost someone born in the 50s that's a musician would probably all have the same answer. So it's really no surprise. And so upon hearing them, that was the moment for me of knowing that I wanted to be a musician. So this is very meaningful, being here. It's almost like the beginning of seeing them, and I don't care how long it took to get here, but it's very surreal. And I'm just glad to be here and playing with my friends and whole experience, meeting everyone. I think it's going to even be more unbelievable when I probably return home and think about it. I'm trying to soak up the moment while I'm here. Yeah, it's awesome. And it's all about the Beatles. And I gotta thank Tom, because he's the guy that got us all over here. So it starts with the Beatles, and it's not ending, but it ends with Tom orchestrating this whole thing. So thank you, Tom, immensely. Are we being filmed?
Mr. Bernie. Captain, how are you?
It's cool.
Here we are.
Yeah.
This is the place to be. I'll leave this down. I'll have to learn it.
Jokes. Look at it. It's the old school Marshall logo.
Go explain to Bernie what you did to his song. Do I use the word improved or not?
Did you get it, man?
How'd that sound to you?
It sounds close enough. I think that it did gel.
All right, let's go see what they came up with.
But I think we all kind of forgot about where we were and got into being here, and like we said, we wanted to channel a little of that energy. I hope we did, and that might have a little something to do with how well it all gelled.
I think that's it.
Do you want it in there?
Yeah, your voice.
What's that?
No. You
I
prefer it
think
not
it's
in there?
well, no, I think it's
Are you really?
I don't think it's missing anything at the end there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to paste it, it in there?
Oops, pardon me.
Is that what you're saying, or you want me to play it over again?
I'm speaking to the wrong guitarist.
Oh, you're talking about Carl.
Me? You want me to go do
Carl.
that again?
No. It's just
Before the ending.
I didn't know which one you were supposed to do either.
Neither did he.
We make
it up on the fly.
Drink that.
I'll go down and do the A minor D.
No. It's
Yes.
No,
Make him do it.
it's good.
Walk along the street. Here I go again.
Sounds better. Sounds much better. What'd you do? Take that guitar out?
Yeah. I think he only did it because he thought I told him to do it.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
might have told him to do it accidentally, but I didn't mean to.
So, see, we were right then.
So I think we're good
He was
now,
out. Yeah, that sounded much better.
Cool.
Should we listen from the top? Yeah. Do you want to listen to it again?
Yeah. Here we go again.
Is Bernie coming back? I knew we were
He's somewhere.
When I come
And
back
then
the solo, I don't even play anymore.
after that.
What with Bernie do we need to do?
Pick it up with Bernie. Or if he wants to do something with this.
But normally we don't.
Should he listen?
Right? You just let the A minor
Let
D
him-
go.
the D go.
Let him
Yes,
listen to what he
yes.
thinks.
And then he does
And
it
then
down.
pick it up as the other Bernie song.
into the next part.
And he would be playing along with everyone.
Yes. Right?
But so
Oh,
Bernie,
I
so
see. You need
Bernie's
that
singing.
box.
I just need to know who's playing what, and then I'll come up.
Well,
with
I'd
a plan.
like Bernie to sing, pick it up.
And you want Eric singing backup.
Because Eric can back that.
And they both fit in the box?
Congos, 3 guitars,
That's a lot.
2 Vox. With is there
I don't
Hammond?
know if you needed one to come join us.
No. Who knows? Yeah, there could be. Why not?
It's just today.
What I reckon we do, Matt, is an extra vocal mic. in the booth. So Bernie can go in there.
I mean,
So you know all of the back rats.
well,
On
I
this
know
one and pick it
a lot
up.
of them
So then we can run a guitar out. We'll get a new
closed them off, or they
box.
made them one way.
somewhere.
Yeah, look.
Hot off the press. Marshall.
Do you know actually? If we
What is it?
A new series called Ambassador.
We've got tubes around. 84s, 34s,
34s and
Two?
doesn't play guitar.
Really?
Sounds amazing.
It doesn't have a does it have a
I
solid
have
state
no
power
idea.
supply?
Look at asking me. I know where to plug it in.
It's a box.
It's a box. There's a speaker in it. You're asking,
Okay.
That's what they were asking me this afternoon. What attenuation is it? I said it's green. So that's all I need to know. But it's good. You'll hear it, man. So what have you done?
Of your two songs we did Here I Go Again, so we're going to do Pick It Up is what we have left,
Yeah.
your song.
Okay, good.
And they're trying to sort out where everybody goes for that.
We did rock and roll. We did we did Give Me One Reason.
Yeah.
Hello, Bernie.
How are you?
I'm good.
You all right?
Yeah,
Good to
man.
see you.
Nice to see you.
Long time no see.
Absolutely.
Well, about a year.
Had a year.
Year and a bit. Yeah.
The last time he was playing on
Was in here. On Kind of
three,
Wish.
wasn't it? I think playing
Kind of
on
Wish.
Trouble.
Kind of Wish and Trouble, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of Wish You Would you played on, didn't you?
Oh, did you play on Trouble?
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah, he played the hand on
You
Trouble.
played Da-Da. Yeah.
The John Lloyd part.
Indeed. He used to hit me around the head if I used to play on stage wrong. He used to come up behind me and go, just like in a movie. Don't do that again.
My favorite song was the one that Bernie played on. I thought that was my favorite song of the session. One of them. The one that Bernie Marsden played on. I thought it was killing.
It's got some magic. I'm telling you, if you heard it on satellite radio or on any radio station, it would have to get you. This one is completely different than any way that he's ever done it. And what was really more amazing about it is he shows up after driving 300 miles. And the first thing I said, and he's going to come and play on it with us, and he was very gracious to let us play his songs, and he's a great guy. And then for him to come in and add the parts that he did, enhance that song so much, and really, what was great is it made it, it just really kind of brought it to a different level.
That's right.
Like a drifter, I was born to walk alone. Made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go.
The way I started out, I was raised by a single mom. We were talking about this in the control room earlier, Rob. We were all, for some reason, before we started today, we were all talking about our fathers. His father was a bad man. He was a drug addict, armed robber, and he spent a lot of time. He was in jail when I was a kid. I was raised by my mom, and my mom had an amazing record collection, number one. We also spent a lot of time with my dad's grandmother in Pittsburgh. And one year, we must have been about 12, my brother saw a bass guitar in a department store catalog, and then he wanted it for Christmas. So my grandmother got him that for Christmas. And I remember when he wasn't playing it, I would just pick it up and play it, you know. And I'm left-handed, but I just picked it up playing it righty, not realizing I was playing it wrong. Well, I guess there is no wrong, but what I used to do is take my mom's records, you know, and put them on and try to play along with the records. You know, gosh, my mom had everything. Elton John, Led Zeppelin, Hall & Oates, ELO, Marvin Gaye, all that stuff, man, Black Sabbath. And I would just try to play, and that's how I started, just trying to play by ear to records. And I didn't think that I was going to be a career musician. I honestly didn't. I went to college when I graduated high school for about a year and a half, but I started playing in bands and stuff. And fast forward to my mid-20s, I was working, helping this man run his small business, and he unfortunately passed away very untimely. And his widow decided to sell the company. And we had 3 months that summer. She was going to sell the company, and the company was going to go till September. And I remember, back then I just played on the weekends, you know, but I remember I was facing having to get a new job. But I thought to myself, man, if I could just play, besides the weekend gigs I do, if I could just play like 2 more times a week, I think I could play music for a living. And that's what I did. I went to a couple bars and ended up getting a job at a Chinese restaurant. They paid us $75 each for every Tuesday night, and I got a couple gigs. And when that September came, I just started playing music, and that was I don't know. I think I've been a professional musician since '94, 21 years. And that, to this day, I think is my proudest accomplishment, that I can play music for a living. And it's taken me all over the world, and I'm really grateful. And every day I'm, you know, very, very grateful that I get to do this for a living.
Can you hear me, Eric? Ernie, are you saying the organ comes in on Though I Keep Searching for an Answer?
No, after the bridge.
It was tremendously gratifying to get Chuck involved. He plays acoustic guitar. He's not an electric guitar guy.
I'm not a musician. I'm an IT guy. I love music, but compared to the rest of these guys, I'm a talentless hack. These guys are so far above my level, it's not funny. So I was really nervous kind of coming into this. And I think all of these guys have been so gracious and so kind and made me feel comfortable, and I'm grateful to all of them for that.
He came up with the arrangement for Here I Go Again. And, you know, he's sitting there, you know, biting his nails, wondering if Bernie's going to say, ooh, that stunk, we need to do that over. And Bernie loved it.
I have never even passed by Abbey Road Studios before, but when Tom started talking about doing this, it sounded like such terrific fun. And although I am certainly impressed by the weightiness and the significance of Abbey Road Studios, It was much more about getting together with all these guys and having fun, and we sure did.
I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been. Hanging on the promises and songs of yesterday, and I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Though I keep searching for an answer, I never seem to find what I'm looking for. Oh Lord, I pray you give me strength to carry on, 'cause I know what it means to walk along the lonely street of dreams. Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter I was born to walk alone, and I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Just another heart in need of rescue, waiting on love's sweet charity. And I'm gonna hold on for the rest of my days, 'cause I know what it means to walk along the lonely street of dreams. Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter I was born to walk alone, and I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time, 'cause here I go again. Here I go again. Here I go again, yeah. Here I go again. Cause I know what it means to walk along the lonely street of dreams. And here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a drifter I was born to walk alone, and I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time, 'cause here I go again. Here I go again. Here I go again.
Taking a break? It's not a union shop.
Actually, Paul, could I have a tiny bit more of the two electrics in my cans? Not much, just an edge. Thanks.
Thing that was important to us was to put together our versions and our arrangements. So we weren't trying to copy anyone. We were trying to do us, even though we're not like a band, so to speak. Just people who love the same kind of thing. And just to reiterate what Carl said about coming to a studio like this, I had been here a few times. I had never thought that I would ever actually get the opportunity to play and record here. So again, a surreal experience. One of my favorites too was with Dean on the B3. He did that wild thing from the top where it was like sounded like a spaceship was coming down from outer space. That was so cool. And his addition to the thing, because we had never played with him before, and we were passing him charts and showing him what we did, and I mean he just was so good that he was able to fit in, and his input into the arrangements, because one arrangement was completely changed right on the fly because of his suggestion. And then what he did with it as well on a bunch of the songs, it just wasn't one or two, was just huge. I mean, it really added so much color and texture to our tunes that, really, again, it kind of just all came together at one time, all here at the moment.
Change them as you're playing, on the fly, which means, so you'll be like, make it a bit brighter, a bit more mellow, you're on the fly. And then the main thing that makes this thing sing is its speaker, because it doesn't have a speaker. Okay, this thing is speakerless. The speaker is behind there, that rotating thing called a Leslie, and it has two speeds, slow. The Hammond is an instrument which has been around since the 50s in rock and pop music. Before that, it was primarily seen in churches. It was an organ that was invented as a pipe organ substitute for smaller churches in America that couldn't afford a real pipe organ or didn't have the space. So the chap who invented it, Lawrence Hammond gets its name from, wanted an affordable substitute for a pipe organ for churches. But then in the 50s, the jazz and R&B and rock guys made it their own and took it into that world. And I grew up listening to all the classic players who were the kind of innovators on the instrument. And I was hugely inspired by that sound. When you hear that sound and you've been taking piano lessons, classical music as from a little kid, and then you hear that, you think, whoa, I want to make that noise. Roll over Beethoven. That's the sound I want to make. That's exciting and loud and thrilling. It now seems to be a slightly dying art, not because people don't like the sound, but because they don't make the instruments anymore and haven't for 40 years. So the people who play them, it's not quite the same as when it was a popular instrument and every band had one. Now, keyboard players, it's just a sound on a synthesizer, or some of the big touring bands have them. But it's a slightly dying art because young kids coming up who may like the sound, they wouldn't have access to them. I think what people like is the fact that what they hear in my playing is somebody who knows how to play it. I'm just very lucky that I was growing up at a time when they were around. And I'm happy to be at Abbey Road, which is probably the world's best studio, certainly the one with the most history, playing with a bunch of guys who obviously thrilled to be here and who are great at their instruments. And it's just been a joy over the last couple of days to be a part of it. And I'm glad I was asked, flattered, and had a ball.
I've been playing, I guess, since I was 5, 6 years old, and I've just always been attracted to the instrument. My parents, being Greek, my parents were always invited and going to many different affairs, weddings and baptisms and Greek dances, and I would, they would say that I was a good boy. I was a well-behaved child, which I really wasn't, and the reason why I think I maybe had that reputation is because all I would do all night at these events was just sit on the side of the stage and watch the band. So yeah, I always had an interest, and I just kept bothering my mom and dad. When am I gonna? Can I get a drum set? Can I get a drum set? Finally, one appeared.
I mean, I'm just reading this, but I think it's. I'm not sure where the one of your solo is. I think that's what it is.
Okay, it's all right.
That's what it is. So the end of my solo. Da 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 da.
2, 3, I want you. Form right there.
Right. So somebody could give us a big. That's the one of your solo.
Okay, yeah.
That's the confusion, I think, for me.
Right. I want you.
Got it. That's what it is.
All right, right from this solo.
Take it from the very end of my solo.
The end of your solo?
Very end. Da, 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 da. All right.
Playing music has been a blessing, and I think that we would all agree. It's taken us to so many great places, and we've had the opportunity to meet so many good people. Just the experience. I feel so lucky just to be able to play music and have that experience. I mean, there's so many people that are just trying to get out of the basement, but still enjoy music on whatever level. So, like I said earlier, it's just even meeting Tom, coming here, to London, and so many experiences like that. It's just so fortunate to have just one speck of talent, dripped on me to be able to play with so many great musicians. I always love, and I always say, half joking, but I really feel that I'm the weakest link of all these situations, just with 2 sticks in my hands, pounding on the drums, and surrounded by so many talented musicians. I just do feel very fortunate. And along the lines of that I'm so thankful that I met Tom, just to have such a wonderful friend, and his generosity in taking such good care of us, and including us over here to celebrate with him is just fantastic. I can't really put it into words.
I Want You, She's So Heavy. Carl had come up with that arrangement and actually plays that out. I've never gotten to play drums on it, so I was like, hey, I want to play drums on that. So I included it in the list. So each song has a very, it has its own story about how it was picked, but mostly it was because I wanted everybody to do as much stuff as possible. The end was chosen for a couple of reasons. It was one, because it was on the Abbey Road album. Secondly, it's because the last line of the song to me epitomizes everything about the trip. You know, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
I love playing with this guy.
And I love playing with this guy.
He makes it so easy for me to play because he knows where I am.
And he makes one of the best guitars in the world. There you go. Make sure that's on the tape. Lombardo guitars.
That's
you
it.
got it.
Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known.
And that was it. I didn't mention that. I probably should have, but you know, I have my brother here too is pretty important, so I didn't say that.
I ain't wasting no more time, 'cause here I go again.
And thanks, Tom.
Yeah, thanks,
Amazing
Tom.
job. You know, I want to say one thing is that you know, I mean, I love my brother to death. We've been best friends forever, and I don't get to play with him a lot because we live in different states. But you know what he put together, and he was very nervous. You know, I was doing my best to lighten him up and you know, throw some jokes his way, you know, because he knows I'm pretty much a ball breaker, and you know, he hung in there tough. He did a great job. I can't thank him enough for this opportunity. But like always, you know, Big Brother comes through and makes the day. So this is probably one of the top highlights in my entire life.
Yeah, same here. There's no doubt about it.
That definitely has to get on there somewhere. So he knows I love him to death.